Welcome to Nuggets for Christian Living with the Sanctuary Fellowship. All scripture is from the New King James Version of the Bible. Today we want to consider, why do we all have the need to know about everything? Especially when it comes to facing trials and troubles. Don't we ask at times, why are we going through whatever is happening? What have we done to deserve this? We question and question, thinking that if we know, then we will be able to figure out how to solve the problems. Do you know that the root of us desiring to have these answers comes from a strategy of Satan that first showed itself in the Garden of Eden? Satan baited the woman in his desire to cause mankind to rebel against God. So he told her, "Then the serpent said to the woman, 'You will not surely die. For God knows that in the day that you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil.'" Genesis 3:4-5. What he was saying is that God is holding out on you. He is not telling you everything that you need to know, but you can change that by eating of this fruit. Now, he was not lying, because God only tells us what we need to know at that given time. But the strategy of the enemy was to entice the woman to depend upon herself rather than God. If we know everything about a situation or circumstance, then there is no need to trust God. Because in that situation or circumstance, we will be like God, knowing everything. Therefore, we don't need him, because we are the other God in this. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. Faith is trust in God, that he knows when we don't. It is dependent on someone else other than ourselves. Satan's strategy is to entice us to try to figure out everything so that we will be dependent upon ourselves, creating another God in our life apart from the only true and living God. That God is the God of self, I. Isn't this what Satan said in his heart before God threw him out of heaven? "For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation on the farthest sides of the earth. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." Isaiah 14:13-14. How many times was the word "I" used in these verses? Actually, 5 times. God tells us in his word that he is a jealous God, and having other gods or idols in our lives is a big no-no with him. "I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me." Deuteronomy 5:6-7. "You shall not go after other gods, the gods of the peoples who are all around you." Deuteronomy 6:14. It is men that fashion gods after their own likeness, out of the evil desires that is in our hearts, according to our own understanding and knowledge. We are admonished in 2 Corinthians 10:4-6, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God, for pulling down strongholds, casting down imaginations, and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ, and being ready to punish all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled." We have to discipline ourselves to resist the temptation to try and figure out for ourselves with the intention of solving the issues ourselves, eliminating God from our heart and minds, but putting our thoughts and imagination above the understanding of who God is. As hard as it is, we have to be content not knowing everything about everything. just knowing this one fact and become established in it. That is, we don't know everything, but He does. So I don't need to worry. I just need to trust. Thank you for joining Nuggets for Christian Living with the Sanctuary Fellowship.